Hi there. Welcome to Being Remarkable. I'm very excited to talk to you about this important topic and help you move into a state of being your best self, essentially. So being remarkable. So the journey of being remarkable and building Illume, it really has been all about sort of a quest, a challenge to be remarkable. This idea of having this mantra of remarkable care has in many ways transformed my life. It has elevated the way I look at my life, at myself. It's affected the standards that I have for how I live, how I relate to people, what I do, how I parent, how I am married, how I care for myself, my body, and so this journey has really been all about the quest for being remarkable, and it's guided me along an extraordinary path and led me to build a team that I am deeply, deeply grateful for. And it's sort of implanted a commitment to a way of life that has really made me a better person and a happier person, a more enlivened person. So I wanted to share a little bit about this and give you a little bit of some of the insights that I've discovered on this quest of being remarkable. I want to say that the idea of being remarkable, and first when I started thinking about it, I thought, well, it's not that I'm remarkable per se. It's not that I'm special or better or any kind of silly nonsense like that. It's not about perfection. Being remarkable isn't about being perfect. It is more about who you are when you're not perfect. It's about when the SHIT hits the fan and who you show up as in that moment, how you integrate loss and failure and challenge. And when you disappoint, when you don't meet the expectations, when you fall down, how do you respond? How do you get up? How do you continue? How do you apologize? How do you accept, right? Accept that at every moment there's opportunity and there's blessings, and there's also confronting the truth of whatever's in front of you, right? Being remarkable is more about taking responsibility for one's life, right? So I can't blame anybody about the results of Illume. I can't. I have to take full responsibility. And that is a challenge, but it's also an incredible, pristine opportunity and delight for me. It gives me an opportunity to stand up and take responsibility for things way beyond what I thought was possible for me to be a part of. It's about taking responsibility for my shortcomings, for when I don't listen well enough, or I'm too impulsive, or I'm too headstrong. It's about being responsible for one's gifts. It's about realizing, okay, I'm good at certain things and I need to do them, even if I feel uncomfortable, or even if it's hard, or even if it's beyond my right at the edge of my limits. Being remarkable is more about the subtle act of showing up with love in your heart. And that's hard. When you're stressed, when you're tired, when you have so many responsibilities that you can't figure out how you're going to be present and open-hearted in the moment, when you feel like you're not doing well, when you're not making it all work, where you're not meeting expectations, showing up with your heart wide open then, or when somebody's angry with you, right? Disappointed in you, when somebody's not pleased with the service we've provided, or feels that we haven't lived up to our standards. Showing up with an open heart in those moments, like that's what being remarkable is about. And that's hard. So it's more about that, and and really less about winning victories, because you can be remarkable whenever you're winning victories, right? It's just like that's the easy time. Being remarkable is more about taking intentional, conscious action, right? So making a cup of tea for somebody in the home and filling that cup with love. It's about being with somebody who's severely disabled and can't respond to you, and sitting in front of them and telling them how all the things you adore about them. The curl in their hair, and the sprite in their eye, and the feeling of calm that they exude, or whatever it is, seeing who they are. And it's about being intentional and conscious about everything you do, whether it's writing an email or walking down the hall and giving people a smile. It takes incredible discipline to be thoughtful, awake, aware, and outside of one's own bit of misery, right? So being remarkable is about really uplifting yourself in a way that allows you to show up new and different in the world. And of course, that has a lot of impact. So what I've learned is that there are 3 big things I focus on: cultivating one's light, and is the first one. Wholehearted dedication to supporting others is second. And third is elevated and intentional action. And so when I think about cultivating one's light, the words you'll see here, these words of engagement. Engagement's really, really important when it comes to being remarkable. It can't be just something you are rote doing. So if I'm sending an email and I'm just copying, pasting something I wrote before, and I'm not putting my energy into it, I'm not engaged, right? Whereas if I'm writing you an email and I'm sending it to you from my heart, I'm engaged, right? And so the quest for being remarkable is to engage or lean in to whatever it is that you're doing and really get the joy of the moment that you're in. So engaging in self-awareness and self-knowledge, engaging in self-care, engaging in self-expansion, right? So I have a lot of practices I do to help cultivate my own light. One of the things that I focus on is having some time every day to meditate. I even have a series of guided visualizations I listen to as I drive to work. And I frequently think about what it is that my higher self or my soul is wanting to experience, and what does my soul long to create and long to build. And my soul is all about expansion. So engaging in self-expansion, engaging in learning and the delight in learning. And of course, that learning process is filled with slipping and falling and tripping and mistakes and, frustration, right? But the soul, the bigger self, the higher self, it's okay with that. It's okay with that frustration. So cultivating one light is all about that, is awareness, care, and expansion. And then the second thing is this wholehearted dedication to supporting others. When we are outside of ourselves and we're really connecting with each other, that's when we experience these, really transcendent moments of love. We can feel them internally just for ourselves through self-love. That's real, and I believe that. But it's a different thing, and you need to have that play in the world where we're connecting with others. So you're engaging in each patient. And if you can, really, connect to their hearts. Engage in the family. Engage in your team. And all of that engagement, and it's really tempting, especially when you're out in a home by yourself. You might be with a parent, a patient who's nonverbal. Family may come or go. Don't know. And you may not see the rest of your Illume team very often. So this act of engagement with others is important for you to feel connected and joyful in the work you're doing by engaging in the process, engaging in the work, engaging in the people. And then there's the elevated and intentional action. So this is where you really choose to engage in excellence. You engage in connection, and you engage in gratitude. So whatever it is you're doing, so you could be with a person and connecting with a person, right? And feeling wholehearted and getting in the presence, or you could be engaging in an activity, could be, chasing a vent tube, or you could be suctioning a patient, or you could be feeding a patient, caring for them in some way, and transferring them right into their bath chair. In how that action plays out, playing it out through excellence, through connection, through gratitude, filling out a spreadsheet, right? All those things can be with those intentions. So that idea of cultivating one's light, I invite you to think about as a practice how to cultivate your light. This is at the beginning of the whole journey of Illume, right? Being lit from within and finding that inner glow. And so this is a practice of knowing and caring for oneself, as well as expanding oneself into being one's best self, whatever that best self is. And, in the Four Agreements, it talks about how that best self changes from moment to moment. My best might be different today than it is tomorrow, or even today than it is in 5 minutes, right? So to activate this, I invite you in the exercise and to think about, and in the quiz this month, what do you love about yourself? So just think about it for a second. What is it you love about yourself? It could be your smile, could be your kindness, could be your commitment to caring, could be what a great mom or a dad you are. So just what do you love about yourself? What is something you could do in your life every day to foster more laughter? Right? We need more laughter. Every one of us does. It brings joy. It brings oxygen. It's said to increase your lifespan. So what's something you could do every day that could increase your laughter? Is it a particular, going onto YouTube and watching funny pet videos, right? Or is it a person like that little one that just passed behind me? She makes me laugh. Right? Engaging in laughter with your kids. Could it be something that you enjoy reading? Or is it, just maybe there's a podcast. So to make sure that you have laughter as part of the recipe of your life, this is super important for me, because I'm a very pretty serious person, but when I do let myself laugh, everything changes. My whole nature changes. I soften. My edges are less edgy. What would you do in the next 12 months if you had unlimited resources? So this is a question to help you ask, how do you want to expand, right? So the first question is about how, knowing yourself. The second one is about how you care for yourself. And the third question is about how you want to expand, right? And what is it you want to see happen in the next 12 months? So I'd love to hear about it, and it'll be part of what's in the quiz to just think of something, right? Like what is it you'd like to do? Wholehearted dedication to supporting others rather than having interactions that are merely transactional and clinical in nature. All of us long for connection, belonging, right? Meaning. And we want to feel connected from our hearts. Everybody does. It's a fact. It's a human need. So not only is this kind of care transformative and healing for others, it is healing and transformative for ourselves. So think about this. Bring to mind a patient or a customer you serve, and just using empathy and intuition, deep listening from inside of your soul, what's something they're longing for? So I like to do this exercise to someone I'm having a challenge with. Maybe there's a patient that's been calling and, they're difficult to please because perhaps they're wounded, right? And so I'm using empathy now, right? Why are they this way? Well, they're wounded. They've had all these years of their life having to dedicate to someone else, to be unselfish. Their life isn't what they expected it to be, right? So What are they longing for? Maybe they're longing for some freedom. Maybe they're longing for relief. Maybe they're longing for understanding. Maybe they're longing for kindness. So the second question is, bring to mind the family or customer you serve. Imagine their life beyond the interactions you have with them and consider what might make them smile, right? So who was this mom before she had a disabled child? Who was she? Was she active in the art scene? Did she enjoy comic books? Did she go, roller skating on Friday nights? Did she, what did she do? Get a sense for who she is, and and now too, even in this point in time, what does she do outside of when she's home? What do you notice she likes to do? Or is there something that would make her smile? You notice habits or practices that she has that might make her smile. And third, bring to mind a teammate who's struggling in some way. Someone who's not living up to the standards you have, right? Maybe you're frustrated even with them, or you just know they're struggling. There's somebody that's going through a hard time. So what are the courageous choices and actions they are taking? See if you can see their courageous choices and actions. And if you let yourself, I bet you'll see all kinds of things. Or maybe they're going through a big transition in their life. Maybe they've just had trouble. Maybe one of their children is struggling. Maybe they have gone through some financial setback and they're struggling and working to overcome it. So take a moment and just allow yourself to answer those questions about others. And then elevated and intentional action. This is the last area. So without conscious awareness, our daily activities and even conversations become repeated versions of yesterday, right? You could basically come in and have the same conversation with your coworkers every day, or with your family members, or whatever. Notice how it might just be kind of like Groundhog Day, right? So this last commitment of elevated and intentional action is about bringing something fresh into your life, fresh energy, conscious choice. So if your everyday life sort of hums around, kind of that level of just maybe barely content, you might choose to have moments that are joyful, just a few, right? You could break free, have a few moments of excitement, a few moments of joy, pleasure, relief. One of my favorites for years, a feeling that I always tried to cultivate, was a feeling of feeling blessed. Just feeling blessed. Just really getting that I'm blessed. That just felt like almost like a warm blanket around me. So this last commitment is about conscious choice to pepper one's life, your life, with intentional actions that lead to your expansion and elevation. So what is something you would like to learn in the next 12 months? Is there a skill or a study you've been longing to embody? What's something you want to learn? What's something that you want to see happen? Maybe it's a clinical skill. Maybe it's the desire for us. So at Illume, one of my big desires is for us to grow the leadership team and grow our case manager team so that we have a solid, unbelievably happy, high performance team. So I'm studying how to create that. I'm learning how to be a better leader. I'm learning how to cultivate other leaders. That's my big learning for right now. I'm focused on that. How to cultivate leaders. What do you want to learn? Do you want to learn Spanish? Last year, or the year before, last year, 2018 and 19, I focused on learning how to play tennis. And that was a really important part of my development. It gave me something to focus on other than work. So what is someone with whom you would like to develop a deeper connection? Who's somebody in your life that they say that the 5 people that you spend the most time with is a reflection of who you are. And if you notice that the 5 people in your life are totally inspiring and fascinating and interesting people that you respect and want to be like, you're doing a great job of cultivating relationships that can help you expand and grow. If you find they're not, it's a good idea to start looking at, who do I want to spend time with? Who would be good mentors? Who would be people that I love who they are? They have laughter in their life. They're doing cool things. I love the way they interact with their partners and spouses. I love how they interact with their kids. I love the way they are positive, or they're whatever. They're engaged. They're learning. I'm fascinated by that. So find people in your life. So what is something you could do in the next week to connect with the people that you want to connect with, right? So think of someone you want to have a deeper connection, and think about how you could have a deeper, heartfelt connection with them. So this is also an exercise you can do with like someone close to you. It could be like your child, right? This is one I focus on a lot. And because my relationship with my girls is very important. My relationship with my husband is very important. So how can I create deeper connection with Frank this week? What could I do? I could send him text messages every day. I'd flirt with him. And, I've put a lot of energy in when I talk to him on the phone, because he's not around a lot. He's traveling most of the time during the week. I make a real point of taking the time, not multitask, and listen to him and thank him for the hard work that he's doing in the world, and be grateful for, share in the gratitude. So these are intentional actions, right? My mind might want to complain about this, that, or the other, or might go to a place of this is what I want and what I need. But when I come out of that and I cultivate these moments of connection with him, I feel better and he feels better. And, our marriage is a pretty good one, as far as I'm concerned anyway, right? Everybody has their own ideas. So who's someone for whom you feel grateful? What could you do today to express gratitude to this person? This is very important in the Illume culture. Spreading gratitude, appreciation is that's why I like this picture, this child giving these beautiful hand-picked flowers, generosity of spirit. Writing thank you cards is one of my favorite things to do. Encouraging others to spread joy, spreading kindness like confetti, spread gratitude. Express your gratitude in whatever ways you can. And certainly you're going to start to feel that you're living a pretty remarkable life. So again, these are the commitments, 3 big commitments: cultivating one's light, wholehearted dedication of supporting others, elevated and intentional action, and all through engaging in what you love. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a beautiful evening and go make the world a better place.